Yale University leaked satellite images of a genocide in Sudan. 15,000 confirmed dead. 12 million refugees. More displaced than Ukraine and Gaza combined. And you haven't heard a word. Why? Because the war that threatens the Red Sea and your shipping lanes is being funded by $4 billion in illegal gold. This is not history. This is how the next global crisis begins. The United Nations quietly calls it the largest humanitarian crisis on Earth. 25 million people, half of Sudan's population, need urgent aid. It is a slaughter fueled by greed, not ideology. Sudan has no oil the West depends on, but it has something far more valuable in 2025. It has gold. Sudan is Africa's third largest gold producer. $4 billion a year worth of gold is being smuggled out illegally. That money is buying the Chinese drones and Iranian missiles currently being used by two ruthless generals to commit genocide, a genocide which the killers are filming themselves and posting proudly on platforms like TikTok. Gold is not the prize here. Gold is the fuel for the killing machine. And the foreign powers buying it don't care who dies. The raw numbers expose a moral blackout. The United Nations quietly labels it the largest humanitarian crisis on Earth. We are talking about 25 million people, half of Sudan's entire population, who desperately need life-saving aid right now. In the last 12 months, 15,000 deaths are confirmed, and the displacement is staggering. 10 million displaced internally, 2 million fled across borders. That is a total of 12 million people uprooted. To put that into perspective, that's more refugees and internally displaced persons than Ukraine and Gaza combined. Yet the question is not where the aid is, but where the headlines are. You haven't heard a word. The brutal truth. Sudan has no oil pipelines the West is addicted to. It has no NATO border to defend. But it does have something far more critical than oil, the perfect fuel for a modern proxy war. The engine of this war is not ideology, it's geology. Sudan is Africa's third largest gold producer. The output is staggering, over 60 tons ripped from the earth every single year. That's nearly 30 times the annual output of India. But here is the critical part. 90% of this gold is smuggled out illegally. It never sees the central bank. This black market operation is worth roughly $4 billion a year. What does $4 billion buy? It buys an entire fleet of Chinese wing-long drones, thousands of Iranian ballistic missile parts, and Russian surface-to-air defense systems. Gold is not the prize here. Gold is the unlimited ATM funding the slaughter. The war is not random. It is fueled by a personal, venomous betrayal. In April 2023, two powerful generals, who once shared power in a palace coup and were, for years, allies, turned their massive arsenals on each other. On one side, General Abdel-Fattah al-Burhan, the face of the official, internationally recognized Sudanese army, SAF. On the other, General Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, known simply as Hemedti. Hemedti commands the infamous Rapid Support Forces, RSF, a ruthless paramilitary. The RSF is not a regular army. It is the direct successor, the sophisticated evolution of the notorious Janjaweed militias that carried out the 2003 Darfur genocide. Hemedti's forces have the blood of 300,000 people on their hands. They were best friends for years. Now they want each other dead, and they are willing to burn the entire nation to ashes just to prove who rules the capital. This is not simply civil conflict. This is genocide in progress, digitized for 2025. In West Darfur, the RSF strategy is horrifyingly clear. They are going door to door in a systematic campaign. Non-Arab tribes, the Fur, the Masalit, the Zaghawa, are being executed on the spot. Women and girls are targeted with sexual violence. Survivors are packed onto trucks and dumped miles deep in the desert, left to die of thirst and heat. Satellite imagery reveals the truth. Entire villages have been erased in weeks. The destruction is total. This is the exact same pattern we witnessed in Rwanda and swore never again to prevent. The only difference, this time, the killers are using military-grade satellite phones. They are not hiding their crimes. They are filming their own atrocities, the looting, the violence, the mass displacement, and posting the footage proudly on TikTok as a tool of terror and recruitment. The silence of the world is their greatest weapon. This is not simply a civil war. This is a massive black market proxy war where almost every major global and regional power is actively picking a side. Everyone denies it. The evidence is overwhelming. 1. The UAE's bet, the gold buyer, the United Arab Emirates, is the single most critical financier. They are secretly flying massive cargo planes, delivering Chinese wing-long surveillance drones directly to RSF bases operating from neighboring Chad. The payment? Those billions in smuggled Sudanese gold. The UAE sees Hemedti as a profitable, ruthless business partner. 2. Russia's bet, the mercenaries Russia's notorious Wagner Group, now rebranded as the Africa Corps, is not just present, they are entrenched. They are actively guarding the gold mines in central Sudan for Hemedti. In exchange for this protection, Russia secures strategic military access and a permanent foothold in North Africa. 3. Iran's bet, the missile supplier Iran is backing the official Sudanese army, SAF, under General Burhan. Iran is shipping Mohajer, 6 drones and ballistic missile components through vital Red Sea ports. Their objective is clear: establish a deep, strategic Red Sea foothold that directly challenges Saudi Arabia. 4. Egypt and Saudi Arabia, the fear factor these two giants are quietly arming Burhan. They do not trust Burhan, they fear Hemedti. An RSF victory, funded by gold and Wagner, would create a permanently unstable, chaotic failed state on their southern borders, a massive, immediate threat to the entire Horn of Africa. Sudan has become a geopolitical chessboard, and the cost of every chess move is paid for in human lives. Look at the map again. Sudan sits directly on the western shore of the Red Sea, the same narrow waterway that handles 12% of all global trade. This is the vital artery connecting Asian manufacturing to Western consumers. The region is already at a breaking point due to Houthi missile attacks from Yemen on the eastern shore. Now you have a collapsing gold-funded proxy war on the western shore. If this Sudanese war spills even 1 inch further east, if the RSF or the army gain control of key ports like Port Sudan, the security crisis becomes unmanageable. Shipping costs will explode overnight. Insurance rates for container ships have already tripled. The reality is this: the world is one sunken cargo ship away from feeling the Sudanese genocide in their grocery bill. This conflict is not contained. It is a direct, immediate threat to the global economy. The financial response to this crisis is a moral blackout. The UN asked for $4.2 billion in 2025 to keep 25 million Sudanese alive, the basic cost of survival. They have received just $1.45 billion. That is less than 35% of what is urgently needed. This is not a funding gap. This is a conscious, global decision to deprioritize millions of lives. While diplomats are busy posting symbolic black squares for other crises on social media, the consequences are immediate and deadly. Children in the Zamzam refugee camp are dying of severe malnutrition at a confirmed rate of 5 per day. The world's silence is directly signing their death warrant. All efforts at peace have collapsed. In September 2025, the US, Egypt, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia proposed a 3-month humanitarian pause. This was a desperate attempt to deliver aid to the starving millions. The RSF accepted, partly to gain legitimacy. But the official Sudanese army, SAF, flatly refused. Why? Because for the army, a ceasefire is not about saving lives, it is about losing military advantage. Stopping the fighting means losing the ability to bomb territories they currently cannot hold on the ground. Peace talks, from Geneva to Jeddah to Bahrain, have all failed. Both generals remain delusional, convinced that total military victory is still possible. They are profoundly wrong. But millions of Sudanese people will die proving them wrong. History repeating pixel by pixel, we've seen this before. In the years 2003 to 2005, the original Darfur genocide unfolded, claiming an estimated 300,000 lives. The world watched, finally intervened, and promised repeatedly, never again. Now, look at 2025. Same region. Same ethnic targets. Same perpetrators, the Janjaweed, now rebranded and better funded as the RSF. Same brutal methods. Only this time, the killers are operating with 21st century tools. They have $4 billion in gold for advanced drones, military-grade satellite phones for coordination, and TikTok for recruitment and propaganda. The death toll is already rapidly catching up to the last genocide's figures, and they are achieving this in a mere fraction of the time. The world's promise of never again has proven to be nothing more than a historical lie. Let's cut past the diplomatic language and state the brutal, fundamental truth nobody says out loud. Sudan is not collapsing because it is poor or naturally chaotic. It is collapsing because it is rich in exactly the wrong things, located in exactly the wrong spot, and run by exactly the wrong people. The deadly combination is this: untraceable gold mines, strategic Red Sea ports, and 2 rogue generals who would rather rule over a nation of ashes than share a palace. That is the only recipe needed for perpetual failure. The world believes ignoring Sudan will contain the crisis. They are wrong. If the world keeps looking away, one of 3 catastrophic scenarios is guaranteed to happen. Scenario 1, fragmentation. The failure state Sudan splinters into 3 or 4 warring statelets. This creates a permanent failed state with pirate bases on the Red Sea and guarantees millions more refugees pouring across the Mediterranean and into Europe. Scenario 2, RSF victory. The warlord King Hemedti consolidates power. The gold flows instantly and permanently to Dubai. Russia's Wagner Group secures permanent military bases in North Africa. The world effectively hands geopolitical influence to the highest bidder. Scenario 3, army victory. The dictatorship Burhan restores a military dictatorship. Iran deepens its Red Sea influence. The genocide slows, but the internal oppression continues, leading to another 30 years of isolation and grinding misery. The common denominator? None of these futures include peace. Your silence only determines which dictator, warlord, or foreign power wins the final prize. But the core question remains, why does this deadly pattern keep repeating itself? Look at the history books: the Roman Empire, the Ottoman Empire, the British Empire, the Soviet Union. Every superpower eventually rots from the inside when the ruling elites become pathologically incapable of seeing beyond their own greed. When they care more about power, control, and gold than the well-being and stability of the people they rule. Sudan is not an isolated incident. It is not an exception. Sudan is a preview. It is a hyper-accelerated warning of what happens when the fabric of a nation is replaced by private greed and foreign interests. Right now, as you watch this, another village is burning. Another mother is choosing which child gets the last cup of water. Another gold convoy is crossing the desert to buy more drones. This war will not stay conveniently forgotten forever. It will become impossible to ignore the day a missile or a pirate base funded by Sudanese gold directly threatens a container ship carrying your phone, your medicine, or your food. By then, the cost will be measured in the trillions, and it will be too late to contain. If this video disturbed you, good. It was meant to. Share it. Talk about it. Force the algorithm to notice. Because the only thing more dangerous than a full-scale, active genocide is a genocide the world pretends isn't happening. Subscribe to Lubadah for the stories they desperately want to keep hidden. The next one might be about your country.